I think we initially met over a CYA video that I posted on my YouTube channel.
Yeah,
and
my
you mentioned- yeah.
exactly. I got it. I was just sitting here minding my business like always, and people sent me like my uncle, one of my older homeboys. He actually a YA baby too. He older than me. Did it before me. He's actually like a big brother to me. You know, me and his family. I'm one of the families that embraced me out there in Duarte. But anyway, he sent it to me out of nowhere. I haven't heard from him in a minute. He always critiquing my music. He badly be critiquing my music, but he a big brother though. He's like, it's out of love. He be always critiquing my music on like Facebook and stuff like that. But I haven't heard from him. So anyway, he sent me the video. He was like, look, trip off this. I was just watching this and look what I seen. And so I was like, oh, okay. I was like, damn. And I was like, that's crazy. And then I was like, I didn't remember the dude at first that was talking. It took me a while to remember him. I'm like, oh, yeah, I remember that dude. Yeah. But, so that's what made me go in there and comment because it was like I had to put my little, you know what I mean? Because there was a couple things that was left out. Yeah. And plus, I wasn't really familiar with who it was who was talking about me like that. So I was like, yeah, he's talking like he really know. He's not lying. He's saying all facts. So but I'm like, who is this dude? It took me a while, but yeah. I remember that cat. Yeah.
Let's talk about your journey through the system. What was your first stint getting locked up? Was it juvie?
Y'all, yeah, man. It was 11. I was
11 years old. Take me back to that time, man.
I went in there. I mean, they in the first they tried to scare me, like put like a grown ass man in the cell with me at the station at the sheriff's station. And so I went to juvenile hall and shit, and you know what I mean? I was like, it felt like I was in prison, man.
Which
like,
juvie hall was it?
Everybody was way bigger than me, and back then juvenile hall had weight, so it really looked like colors. It looked like that color scene when they beat up the one dude, what was his name? The blood dude.
High top.
Yeah, when they whooped on High Top.
That's your ass, High Top.
On the roof, when he was hitting the weight. I swear it looked like that, bro. That's how I felt. I was like, as a kid, imagine being 11. I'm like, man, you know what I mean? So, of course, you know what I mean? That's how I always been since a child. You know what I mean? Like, if anything startled me, like anything, I feel intimidated, I immediately attack it. I feel any type of like slight piece of it, like, you know what I mean? Like, you make me nervous, you intimidate me anytime, I'm gonna attack you. Because you're dangerous. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm attacked. So that's how I was. You know what I mean? I attacked. I was little. I just rushed. I just started fighting everybody. I went to the box for the first time, and I cried. All the kid came out of me. All that gangster shit was out. I was a kid again when I was alone in that box by myself, locked up, not being looking out at the damn freeway and shit, at the 5 freeway right there downtown.
What detention center was that? What center was that? Oh, East Lake. Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, you know how to. Yeah, and yeah, man, and it was horrible. I was like, that's when I was like, oh, mommy. I was turning into a little baby again when I went to that box for the first time. But then I got that out the way, and then it was like I quickly became accustomed to it. You know what I mean? It was just like man, this is what I'm doing. I'm fighting. I'm gonna let them know, like, because if not, it's like that's how it is. It's like, you know, you gotta. It's one way or another, predator or prey. You know, in there. So it was crazy. I mean, but to me, I was kind of crazy as a youngster. Like I was fearless. So it was like, it was fun to me. Shame to say. And then it was glamorized to me by the generation before me, which is horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was glamorized. You know, jail. They glamorized jail. Like it was just the coolest place on the earth back then. The older dudes. So it was a lot of I was like, my generation was misled, man. We was all, man, it was crazy.
Damn. All right, so juvie hall. You spent some time in juvie. How did you get to CYA?
Yeah. First, I went to camp. I did a year in camp, juvenile camp, county camp. Then I got to CYA for some like I was just on the block. It was just on the Easter. We had went to Venice Beach, like real deep. We had drove to Venice Beach. Like I literally counted up every car. It was 27 cars of us. You know, I mean, my homies and my homegirls. We was deep. We went to Venice Beach. We had fun there on the way. You know what I mean? We barbecued. We had fun. We had a fight, big ass fight at the beach. You know what I mean? Some of my homies went to jail, but then when we came back to Duarte, and we were just chilling on the block, and everybody drinking, and there was a lot of fights. Everybody started fighting each other. One thing, like just crazy ghetto street shit. Just everybody, you know what I mean? A lot of fights happening. Then ended with the night with like four of my homeboys ended up jacking some crackhead lady come down there trying to get some begging for crack. Some white lady, a white crackhead lady. She was known around there. She never had no money. She was always coming around broke. Talking about just I'll pay you later. I'll do this and do this and that. And so anyway, they ended up just robbing her and taking her car, beating her up and robbing her and taking her car. Four of my homies. And I seen it with my eye. I'm just sitting there like me and my bro. We just looking like, damn, it was like they tripping. Like, it was like in shock. I was like in shock. I'm 16. I was like, I'm drunk as hell. It's like 2 a.m. And they just beat her bad. She kept trying to get her car, like fight for her car. Like, no, like they fun. And so they just drove off and did like they bagged up when they was driving off. They bagged up and like get in. And I'm my stupid ass, get in. I don't know why the hell I get in. I'm like, hey man, take me to the house real quick. I was finna go to Florida. My brother lived in Miami, Florida, and he had to send me a plane ticket. I was finna move out there for a while because I was already like on a run from the little probation shit from camp. I was a badass kid, man.
Damn. Okay.
But yeah, so yeah, that's how I went. I didn't do absolutely nothing. And, you know, they told me, they was like, man, who did this and this and that? We know you didn't do it and this and that and I mean, you let us know and we'll, you know, the same old script. Like, we'll let you go right now. You know, I never was like that. I ain't say shit. So, you know what I mean? I'm like, man, yeah, right. So I was all the way silent. I'm like literally silent. Like I wouldn't even talk. They thought I was deaf. And so that's how I went to YA. You know what I mean? For that dumb ass shit my homies did. And every time I went to board, because you got to go to board to get released, they like, oh yeah, man, you and a bunch of your gang member friends jumped on an innocent lady and took her purse and her car. I'm like, wow. And I'm looking at them like, and everybody looking around the room looking at me, and it's a lot of women, and I'm looking like, really like man, I didn't touch that lady, but I just didn't snitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, that shit was crazy, man. It was like, yeah, GBI, carjacking, GBI robbery type shit.
Okay.
That I just witnessed and didn't tell. Kept it solid. I did 3 years. I did 3 years because I was, you know, by going to jail for something you didn't do, that made me mad. That really made me turn the pressure up. When I went in there, I took it out on what I considered my enemies at the time.
So your first stop is in Norwalk, right?
Yeah.
SRCC?
Yes.
Okay. Active gang member, you know, you're heavy in the game. What is it like for you entering? Talk to me about your first day there, getting transferred. Did you go to Nellis?
Nah, I went to from Norwalk. I went to Preston.
Okay.
I went to Preston.
Okay. Well, talk to me about that time, man.
Yeah, it was just like, man, it was crazy. It was a whole lot of basically kids in a real prison, man, and it was just crazy, just man, it's just the craziest shit ever. The most violent, the most conniving, scamming. You just learn. It was just wow. It was a whole nother world, man. It was crazy. But with me, like I was, like I say, I was a fighter. I was always aggressive. I was always tough. So I was always the aggressor. It wasn't never like a problem as far as like I said, I attacked all the time. Every time, like I was a dude who was like, you would see like chasing dudes, people running from me and all that type of shit, slapping them, spitting on them. I was a super bully. Like I was the bully. I was the one that like 90% of them were scared of me, whether they admit it or not.
Now, when you're there, when you first get there, are you trying to link up with other people from your specific neighborhood? Are you trying to link up with?
Yeah, we at that
Crips?
time back then. Yeah, see, in our era at that time, we all went to jail. Like we were all like, it got different once it came to the later '90s. Shit got different as far as game. Back then, in the like '80s and in the early '90s to mid '90s, we all started gang banging super young. You know what I mean? So, and we didn't have too many opportunities to pretty do too much of nothing else, and it was a different time. So they was taking our little asses to jail. We was active, you know what I mean? So with that being said, yeah, it was a lot of us in there at that time. But it was always way more PDLs though. Always.
Okay.
But we was deep at that time in there. So it was, yeah, we was showing off for each other too. So we run into it. And plus we still putting set on the map. We still running into people that haven't even heard of us yet. We still was dealing with that at the time. You know what I mean? Like, what else there? Where y'all? And that, so we had a complex about that. So that had us extra turned up and tripping. Yeah, and we all pretty much know how to fight. We grew up fighting each other versus like, you know what I mean? And like more majority gang members in like the city and like South Central, Compton, Watts, like that's where it's a lot of different sets closer together. It's a lot of more. It's more shooting going on and less fighting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And shit like that. But with us, like we got a lot of space to where it's just us. So we ain't no other black gang in DeWarty or Monrovia. It's just us. That's all Do-Rock territory. Any blacks that gang bang out there, they from Do-Rock. So who else we gonna fight? We ain't gonna shoot each other. We fight. So we fight each other. So we already knew how to fight, and our older homies knew martial arts and boxing and all types of shit. So they made us get in the gloves and lift weights, and I did all that shit way before I ever went to jail. I worked out and I fought. So we went in there brutalizing them dudes. Man, we was good. Yeah, that's what we were known for. The Do-Rocks, like in there, just beating it, just terrorizing.
Okay.
Yeah, but always being outnumbered though. Even though it was a lot of us, but everybody was deep back then. Like I said, the rival gangs. You know what I mean? Because I can't never, you know what I mean, with what you know, and everything I know now, and the level of, you know what I mean, intellect I have right now, I could never consider any one of them dudes my enemies. But the gang rivals of, you know what I mean, a Do-Rock.